In November of 2024, YouTuber Internet Anarchist released a video titled The Worst Content Thieves on YouTube. But little did millions of people watching know, the creator of this very video would be facing plagiarism allegations of his own.
Content theft is a massive problem on YouTube, and it only seems to be getting worse. Occasional you laugh or you lose videos are one thing, but entire channels built around recycling someone else's content, that's a whole nother level of shamelessness.
Internet Anarchist has not been accused of plagiarizing word for word, but through a very sophisticated way of taking someone else's video and disguising it as his own.
And then when I compared it to the latest video from Internet Anarchist, it was clear. It's not just a similar story, it's the exact same story.
And his response only made things worse.
Someone's messed up and they've apologised. Alright. Happens a million times a day, who cares? But he hasn't just messed up. He's now lying about it.
Realistically, this was the perfect opportunity to use the 6ix9ine stole that-ish response, but he decided to opt for something else. The strangest thing of all is that Internet Anarchist is a pretty talented YouTuber. He'd been posting on YouTube since he was 12 years old and saw some early success with his gaming channel, Whammo.
Yeah, so basically, I'm a YouTube kid. Since the age of like 12, or actually younger, since the age of like 10, I've been posting everything I do to YouTube across various channels. You know, some channels will get, 40 subscribers and just get lost. And yeah, then I had a gaming channel, got it to like 50k subs, but I wasn't really earning anything substantial from it.
When he reached early adulthood, he faced a crossroads where he could go to college or start online. However, he knew that if he wanted to pursue a career in YouTube, it needed to exist outside of gaming.
18 or maybe 17, and I realized that if I want to go the path of online business and make a living online, then it is not going to be in a gaming channel, especially not on a game that is so limited in its player base and the potential views you can get. It would just be practically impossible to make a living and also make enough of a living that it's worth the sacrifice of those earlier years in adulthood that you could be spending studying, that you could be spending setting up like a career path in the future, like 6 years from that point. Like if you want to become a lawyer, a doctor, or some other field that requires extensive studying.
He went on to write for the legendary YouTuber SunnyV2 and then built his own similar channel, Internet Anarchist. And at the age of 22, he has over 1.8 million subscribers. From the outset, this seems like an inspirational story for anyone trying to make it. But recently, a YouTuber by the name of Snowflake discovered something odd about one of his videos. He was casually watching a video by the channel Tell Us More about the downfall of James Corden, and the algorithm suggested a similar video by Internet Anarchist. However, this video seemed very familiar.
About 10 minutes, I was thinking, oh, have I heard this one? Is this the one I watched yesterday? So I had a look and I was like, oh no, it's not. And it wasn't. But I knew exactly what the narrator was going to say. I knew exactly what was coming next. So I thought, well, maybe, it's about the same guy, James Corden. So both stories are going to be similar. But when I went back to find the original video from a channel called Tell Us More, and then when I compared it to the latest video from Internet Anarchist, it was clear. It's not just a similar story, it's the exact same story.
What you'll see is not someone blatantly stealing someone else's content, but definitely something that feels almost too similar. In these clips that Mr. Snowflake put together, you'll see a very similar editing style, which some people say Tell Us More is a channel that adopted editing style from Internet Anarchist, who adopted it from SunnyV2. And yeah, so it's kind of like they're in the same family of content. You can tell by the types of thumbnails and titles that these guys put together.
His career began with modest roles in British theatre and television throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s.
He actually worked his way up from modest beginnings in the UK.
At 17, he appeared in the musical Martin Guerre, followed by small roles in films like 24/7 and British TV series like Hollyoaks.
Bouncing between very brief, often forgettable parts across the British entertainment scene, from the musical theatre production Martin Guerre to the 1997 sports drama film 24/7, and even a gig in the long-running TV soap opera Hollyoaks.
Both videos are discussing James Corden's career, so you would expect a lot of overlap in the content being discussed. However, a lot of very similar words are being used and the exact same quotes.
His Gavin and Stacey co-star Rob Brydon became concerned enough to confront him directly.
Fortunately for him, his Gavin and Stacey co-star Rob Brydon was quick in trying to get him back on the right track, telling him directly,
Pulling him to one side and saying, "Look, this is a bit awkward to say, but I'm just hearing these things about you."
"Look, this is a bit awkward to say, but I'm just hearing these things about you."
His family members also noticed a shift, and according to Corden's mother, his sisters approached him with the warning, "James, don't be a
Even his family stepped in, with his sister giving him a hard reality check by saying, "James, don't be a dick."
But the biggest red flag was that the internet anarchist was mispronouncing a lot of his words, and Mr. Snowflake decided to search online to see if anyone else had noticed, and this pulled him deeper down the rabbit hole of what internet anarchists may be doing. A thread on Reddit was titled, "Is the Internet Anarchist YouTube channel AI generated?" and referenced the regular mispronunciation of words. It's incredibly common for human voiceovers to mispronounce words, especially on a channel that's churning out 2 or 3 high-quality, well-edited videos a week. However, there is a moment in the video where it seems like only a robot could have mispronounced this word. When speaking about the drama between Colleen Ballinger and Adam McIntyre, Internet Anarchist said,
On the 28th of April 2020, a former fan and intern of Colleen named Adam McIntyre uploaded a video titled "Colleen Ballinger, Stop Lying," where he alleged various inappropriate, toxic and disturbing aspects of their online interactions. The most shocking of which was when Colleen sent him lingerie when he was in his early teens.
and this mispronunciation of the word lingerie was frequently brought up in the comment section, and Internet Anarchist wrote in the pinned comment, "This is my first time saying lingerie out loud. Didn't know it was a French word." But Mr. Snowflake then found something much worse. And this is arguably the smoking gun moment, which proved that this video was supposedly plagiarized.
Corden's digital dominance quickly translated into opportunities beyond his talk show.
Corden's digital dominance with his late night show also translated into several other high-profile hosting opportunities.
Digital dominance. What's the chances? What's the chances of 2 YouTubers making a documentary on the same guy 6 months apart, both using the phrase digital dominance? It's a good phrase. I really like it. But what's the chances that they've both used it in the exact same part of the script, exact same part of the video, to describe exactly what's happening? Digital dominance.
There are moments in the Internet Anarchist video that are written very differently from Tell Us More, but when you look at both videos, it's hard to find a single moment from the Internet Anarchist video that you wouldn't have found in the Tell Us More video. For example, SunnyV2 did a much shorter video on the same topic. It contains the same essential plot points, but also covers Corden's beef with Bill Maher, which none of the other videos mentioned. So if Internet Anarchist researched this independently, he could have come across different bits of information and shaped a more original story. Interestingly, James Corden was involved in another controversy where he was caught stealing a joke from Ricky Gervais, who I may have mispronounced right now. This is suspiciously in the Tell Us More video, but not in the Internet Anarchist video. Ultimately, this isn't a great look for Internet Anarchist, but he's not the first, nor will he be the last to plagiarize someone on YouTube. His mentor, SunnyV2, went through a similar small scandal. However, he began to credit the videos that he was inspired by in the description box for the years leading up to when he would eventually disappear. What makes this case particularly interesting is how Internet Anarchist presents himself online. What you'll see is a classic case of someone hiding in plain sight, and how those who shout the loudest often have secrets of their own. In December of 2023, the YouTuber HBomberGuy famously released a 4-hour video on YouTube plagiarism and exposed many popular creators like Philip Muisine, Cinemassacre, Illuminati, and the Internet Historian. However, Internet Anarchist is mentioned very briefly in this video. Illuminati was caught plagiarizing the journalist Brian Deere, and this was covered by multiple YouTube drama channels. However, the drama channels decided to credit other YouTube channels instead of the original source.
I've seen the compilation I made of Blair copying Dia in like 40 different places at this point, but what's really amazing about it is that it's now crossed the drama mill event horizon. So instead of being credited to me, it's credited to the other drama YouTubers the current drama YouTuber got it from. In this instance, the previous drama YouTuber's name isn't even spelled right. That's the level of research we're dealing with here. I don't really care about getting credit for a video I made in 5 seconds. The point I was trying to make was that Dia is the guy who deserves the credit. But there's still an irony to it. I was trying to make a point about the importance of crediting people correctly, and now my Twitter video has human centipeded its way out of the anals of drama YouTubers into the mouths of second-order drama YouTubers who don't even know where it's from, but are ready to reheat and serve it. This is the lowest effort shit you can imagine. They can't even spell plagiarist right.
Internet Anarchist did indeed watch this video, however, his response was incredibly strange.
So I was thinking, has the Internet Anarchist responded to this? And he did, kind of. He did exactly what H-Bomber was complaining about. He stole most of the video from H-Bomber, summed it up, and conveniently left out the part where H-Bomber guy showed the Internet Anarchist. Left that bit out. Not sure why.
The more Mr. Snowflake dug into this, the more examples he found of Internet Anarchist hiding in plain sight and positioning himself as a vocal opponent of plagiarism.
In this video that I found by a channel called Deep Humor, he talks about another channel, Mr. Slanderist, stealing entire videos of his. Not only was this channel stealing from Deep Humor, but it was stealing from a much larger channel, none other than the Internet Anarchist.
There's a content creator out there called the Internet Anarchist that has almost 2 million subscribers, a much bigger YouTuber than I am, and Slanderous ripped this guy off as well, completely stole his thumbnail, and this guy actually called him out.
And what's even more interesting is the comment that Internet Anarchist left on Deep Humor's video. Thanks for the mention. Yeah, it's so disappointing to see this become commonplace on YouTube. I have seen firsthand that these channel operations are often either AI, so you take the piss, or severely underplaying international contractors in order to mass produce an insane volume of videos. He uploads 3 times a week. He's doing this to piss me off only. Volume of video. 3 times a week he's uploading. All directly copying you little or stealing from other creators. God, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Thanks for making a video covering this situation.
In this example, it would be suspicious if Internet Anarchist didn't act like he was against plagiarism. He's also somewhat of a YouTube drama guy, so it would be equally suspicious if he didn't cover the mega viral H-Bomber guy plagiarism controversy. The bigger shock is that he went out of his way to create an entire video on his second channel about a Twitch streamer who had stolen one of his videos word for word.
I'll be filing a strike for this video. I don't mind people using clips from my content or even taking inspiration, research, and ideas from it. But directly stealing my entire script word for word is unacceptable and would not go without consequences.
Mr. Snowflake concluded that this was all very strange behavior. However, Mr. Snowflake's evidence all hinges upon one video on a channel with over 200. And when Internet Anarchist responded to this video, it seemed like this could have been a simple one-off mistake. On his YouTube community post, Internet Anarchist wrote, "In regards to the James Corden video, a few months ago I began expanding my writing team so we could produce more consistent and exciting documentaries for everyone who supports the channel. Until then, this had been a 2-person operation. With the increased volume, my review process fell short. While I checked scripts for structure, pacing, story flow, and overall consistency, I failed to properly cross-check for similarities with existing videos. That oversight is entirely on me, and I take full responsibility for it. Based on our internal review, this issue was isolated to a single upload, the James Corden video. As soon as I became aware of it, I removed the team member involved, unlisted the video, and began revising our internal review process to ensure this doesn't happen again. I also want to be clear that while a former team member was involved, the responsibility ultimately rests with me. I take full accountability for what happened and am adjusting our review standards to ensure every upload meets a higher bar moving forward. As a result, our upload schedule may change. However, I believe it's better to slow down and produce consistently original, high-quality work than to prioritize volume. I want to be clear about where I stand. I believe in calling out plagiarism on YouTube, not participating in it. To take further accountability, I'll also be sharing the revenue from that video with the original creator whose work was copied, who I have already reached out to privately. Damn, that's crazy. Could never be me. Update. The original creator Tell Us More has accepted my apology and is receiving 100% of the revenue generated from the James Corden video. In the replies, a lot of fans praised him for taking accountability and correcting this mistake. But one person asked a legitimate question. Did the writer also do the editing? Because the editing was also clearly copied. And Internet Anarchist responded, super valid question, and I totally understand how it may seem that way from the outside, but the truth is the scriptwriter is the person who finds the clips, links the clips, and has the specific timestamps the clips, and the editor's role is creating the visuals and then putting those clips in. Now within the script also has several images relating to the script. So when the script references something specific or a new person is introduced, the script will include a photo of that person or the asset required. Internet Anarchist even had a friend call in to defend him on a stream.
I kind of want to clear a few things up. I don't really want to speak for IA with this. Obviously, it's his thing, but basically, it wasn't obviously like him directly doing it. It was a writer, and I think they've already been sacked at the moment. And right now, he's just like, he's like trying to reach out to the other channel and see if he, like, maybe give them some money for it or do something like that to try and make it better. That's what I think he's doing at the moment.
I guess if he's going ahead and doing that, that's pretty good. But you've heard this guy's been fired then?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Because I was under the belief that Internet Anarchist wrote all of his own stuff. Is that not true anymore?
I think that was the case when he was a bit smaller, but no, he doesn't. He has like an editing team, he has writers, he has like all of that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure. He doesn't.
So that explains why he's mispronouncing words. He's still like the manager and I guess like the voice of the channel.
Yeah. Well, at that scale, because obviously he's dealing with a lot of numbers and he's putting out so much content that's incredibly long. He has teams that do most of the grunt work for him. So I don't think... Yeah, as soon as I heard about that, I knew it was probably a team member that did it, and I like briefly discussed it with him. He seems to be handling it pretty well.
So Internet Anarchist had supposedly messed up and promised to do better in the future. Again, he's not the first person on YouTube to screw up and won't be the last, and really, this is mostly a nothing burger if he just didn't reply to it. And if everything in that statement was true, that would be where the story ended. However, Mr. Snowflake released another video.
So this statement here, it is full of lies. And I'll prove that with a part 2. Unless he comes out with a new statement and tells the truth. Yeah, you got me. I was an idiot. I got caught up in the rat race of life, whatever. Where's that from? I'm going to have 6 months off. You can afford it. Must be a millionaire. A millionaire from plagiarising. Huh. In my video I uploaded last night, I was like, I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life. I think I'm going to retract that statement.
Internet Anarchist did not respond to this. Interestingly, it was published on December 20th, and Internet Anarchist might have presumed that this drama would get overshadowed by the Christmas period. However, on Christmas Day, Mr. Snowflake had a very unpleasant surprise for Mr. Internet Anarchist.
He assured us that the James Corden video was the only video to copy another on his channel. A channel with over 200 videos, and that was the only one.
Jeremy Fragrance was one of the most unique success stories on YouTube. Real name Daniel Stradinsky.
The rise of Jeremy Fragrance is easily one of the most unexpected success stories on YouTube. Jeremy, real name Daniel Stradinsky,
He had an uncanny ability to communicate scent through a screen, something very few people had achieved on YouTube back then.
But what truly set him apart on YouTube was his uncanny ability to vividly describe every scent, breaking it down in a way anyone could understand.
Fans would frequently comment saying, "This guy can make you hear smells."
This Jeremy Fragrance video was posted a month ago, and could have been the same writer. However, Mr. Snowflake found this video from November of 2024.
On September 16, 2024, Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI joined forces to launch their newest product.
On the 16th of September 2024, 3 of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI, teamed up to announce their new collaborative project, Lunchly.
This new product was going to be a direct competitor to Lunchables, a prepackaged meal option for children that had been dominating the market for the past 35 or so years.
This was going to be a direct competitor to Lunchables, the boxed meal option for children that had been topping the sales chart for the last 35 years.
Now, you would expect a product by 3 massive YouTubers to become a money printer.
Now, you would expect something created by Mr. Beast himself and the 2 guys behind Prime to be an instant success.
But that can't be further from what actually happened.
Unfortunately, for them, that's not how things went with Lunchly.
Bear in mind, this is the same month that he published the video The Worst Content Thieves on YouTube and described this behavior as shameless. Some people watching might still not agree that this style of rewriting entire videos counts as plagiarism. But going by Internet Anarchist's own standards that he established, as expressed with his apology statement, these have all been ripped off too. So Mr. Snowflake now posed a simple question. If Internet Anarchist was willing to pay all of the money made from the James Corden video, was he willing to dole out all of the money he made from the other videos too?
3 videos now. He's copied from one guy. I assume he will pay him, because he did pay Tell Us More when he stole his work. But if I was the Internet Anarchist, I'd keep Tell Us More's bank details handy, because I think you owe him a bit more money.
On June 15th, 2024, Alice made a post on Twitter saying, "Here's my statement on the situation I've been scared to speak out on."
On the 15th of June 2024, Alice made a post on Twitter stating, "Here's my statement on the situation I've been scared to speak out on."
Attached was a Google Drive folder containing various videos.
This post also included a Google Drive link, which contains a number of audio and video files featuring Alex.
Mr. Snowflake discovered videos going back as far as 2023. So a few months before he posted a video on his second channel exposing someone for stealing his content, he released this very unoriginal video.
But also because she reached 500,000 followers on TikTok,
reaching milestones like 500,000 followers on TikTok,
and suddenly gained over 100,000 followers on Twitch,
and skyrocketing to over 100,000 followers on Twitch,
while averaging over 1,500 viewers at the same time.
All whilst maintaining an impressive average of 1.5k concurrent viewers.
And even got accused of wall hacking by viewers.
Accusations of wall hacking, aimbotting, and VPN exploitation began to surface.
But she used this negative energy to fuel herself even more.
Nadia decided to feed into the controversy, using the negativity to propel herself further into the limelight.
After Mr. Snowflake posted his first video, Internet Anarchist was also engaging in some very suspicious behavior. His video, What Happened to the Creators H Bomber Guy Exposed, was no longer on his channel.
Last week, few days ago, whatever it's been, he removed it, he privated the video. I don't know why. Maybe he just didn't want to draw attention. But even, I don't know why, but it's been privated.
But the behavior didn't end there. Internet Anarchist also joined Mr. Snowflake's Patreon.
And he is a weird guy, because when my first Internet Anarchist video went up, he joined me Patreon. Eh? I don't understand. I saw he joined and I thought, oh, he's going to send me a message here saying, hey, it was an accident, it wasn't my fault, take the video down. But that message never came and I was thinking, well, what's he joined me? He's not a fan. He can't be a fan. Why is he joined? The only thing I can think of is that he wants to get ahead of the video.
Internet Anarchist was temporarily saved by this being dropped on Christmas Day. However, on the 27th, you can see this graph that he lost 10,000 subscribers at the least. The fact is that Internet Anarchist made things much worse by presenting himself as this super original guy. Before any of this drama kicked off, the biggest criticism of his channel was that he was a, quote, Sunny V2 clone. When responding to this accusation on Twitter, which was completely unnecessary, he wrote, different video topics, different video editing and stylistic choices, completely different branding. I've been working on creating more of a community versus Sunny's approach of being a bit more mysterious. I post way more frequently and the list goes on. Trying to claim we are the same is massively oversimplifying it. Did he inspire me? Yes. Are we the same? No. Originality, or at the least the appearance of originality, seems to be very important to him. And despite the fact that he owes a lot of his success to the inspiration that he got from Sunny V2, he didn't hesitate to make a video about Sunny when he was facing criticism of his own. In January of 2023, Internet Anarchist posted a video titled, Is Sunny V2 Faking Videos? And broke down all of the controversies that were surrounding him during this time. Internet Anarchist wrote in the pinned comment, I want to note that this video is not made to expose Sunny V2 or bring anything new to light, but rather analyze the facts of the recent controversy and try to find some context and explanations to the events. Sunny V2 has been a huge inspiration for me, and I spoke to him before making this video since it isn't to attack or defend him. Rather, just take all the existing information and package it into an entertaining video for you all. But it is strange to take a neutral stance when someone you know and inspired you is being attacked online and try to capitalize on the situation. After the release of the third Mr. Snowflake video, Internet Anarchist has chosen to basically ghost the drama and continue posting videos, something that he probably should have taken into consideration after the first video. On the comments section for a new video titled The Depraved Downfall of Parlo, one of the comments reads, "You really know you've officially fallen off when you get covered by a YouTuber outside of your own community space." But if we go back to the vidIQ graph, you can see that December 27 drop-off was an outlier, and he continues to gain subs and viewers. People are going to stumble upon his videos again and be completely unaware that they've been, quote, plagiarized. And this tactic of completely ignoring the controversy is quite fitting because it's been done before. When responding to Illuminati's apology statement about the controversy, Internet Anarchist joined the pile-on and replied, "You really should have taken the Sunny V2 approach of ghosting the drama and continuing with usual uploads." So, this might be yet another way that Internet Anarchist was inspired by Sunny V2, however he should have listened in the beginning. And never addressed it in the first place because it wasn't explicit plagiarism, and if it was, there's always the 6ix9ine Trippy Red meme with Gummo that can pull you out of any situation when it comes to copying someone else.
Trippy Red said the Gummo beat was supposed to be for him, but you stole it.
Stole that. That's what I do. I stole that